let's use that opportunity in terms of the Obama administration to pivot to this story that came out in the Huffington Post about what used to be known as Obama for America, then was for Organizing for America, and then it's now Organizing for Action, the OFA. This is coming out, this story basically came out the day after a story about a new report out of Oslo that shows that 97% of all scientists, essentially, who have written anything on the topic of global warming in the past almost 20 years, 97% concur that it is man-made and it's happening. With that as the context, there was a story by Ryan Grimm and Lucia Graves in the Huffington Post that basically says that Organizing for America, or for Action now, I guess as they're calling it, refuses to take a stance on Keystone, the Keystone pipeline, which, if you believe the top client scientists from the U.S. government, or formerly from the U.S. government, and all of the environmentalists, Keystone is essentially game over for climate change. And Organizing for America, which is purportedly a grassroots organization, will not deal with it. What does this say about OFA?
Well, I mean, to me, it says exactly what we knew about OFA, which is that it is an instrument of the president. I mean, that's always been what OFA is about. And I think there was people, myself included, at the early days of the Obama administration, I wrote about this a lot in my book, Herding Donkeys, who thought that OFA could be used as a way to put pressure on members of Congress, regardless of their political affiliations, to try to get things done that the president was for. And I think what we saw is that, even, for example, when the president was for a policy, like saying he was for a public option on health care, that OFA wasn't able to support policies that had any degree of controversy within the Democratic Party. So when you had people like Max Baucus of Montana during health care, who was chair of the Finance Committee, who was not supporting the public option, you just didn't have any ability from OFA to put pressure on those people. So it was essentially turned into a toothless organization. Now it's been rebranded. It's out of the DNC, so there was some thought that maybe it would be more independent, but that hasn't been the case. And so we see, they mentioned, for example, that OFA didn't go after Max Baucus on background checks on guns. Maybe it was because one of the top advisors to OFA, Jim Messina, used to work for Max Baucus. But you have to wonder, I mean, if the group isn't going to go after recalcitrant Democrats on things like gun control, which the president supports, what is its value? And then it gets more complicated when there are policies where we're not really sure what the president's position on it. So, I mean, it's not really clear to me, is the president for or against Keystone? Well, I mean, if we don't even know what the president's position is on Keystone, how is OFA, which is an arm of the president, going to have a position on it? So, I mean, it makes perfect sense to me that OFA wouldn't be doing any sort of activism on Keystone, because that's not its role. That's not what the group is about. If Obama supporters want to pressure the Obama administration, they have to find another organization. And I think this is something that's been obvious for a few years now.
Now, you are so cynical, Ari, because isn't Organizing for America supposed to be a grassroots organization? Isn't it supposed to be one of those organizations that listens to what its members are saying and then it takes action? How did you get so cynical at such a young age, Ari?
Well, I mean, I think it's a grassroots organization in the sense that if all the members support something that the president supports, then there will be action on it, right? So on issues like immigration reform, for example, I think OFA will and can have a big impact, because I think that's a policy where we know the president's position on it. But it's not a lobbying group to pressure the president. It's never what it's been about. I think it could have been powerful if that's what it was, but I think we're well past that point. So, I mean, to me, all those Obama supporters who care about Keystone should find other organizations to support that are going to pressure the administration on Keystone, whether it's the environmental groups or other organizations. Expecting this is going to be OFA's mission, I think, means that you haven't been paying a whole lot of attention to what OFA has been doing for the past few years.